Now, we aren't quite done with our checkout page. There's still quite a bit of work to be done. However, we're going to have to leave this page for the time being until we have our login and registration, forgot password done. And then we're going to get back to our checkout, because this checkout page should only be accessed by registered users. In other words, we have to restrict access to this specific page. So right after opening PHP tag, let's type login 2 colons restrict front, which is our new method, which we'll create in just a second inside of our login class. It's obviously static method, as you can see, because we're using 2 colons. So let's copy the name of the method, open our login class, and let's create our new public static function restrict front. Now, we're not going to be creating this function yet, this method. First of all, we need to create a few properties of this specific class. These will be, our first will be public static underscore login page front equals, and we assign the value of / page equals login. This is the URL to our login page. Then we have another public static dashboard underscore front equals, and then / page equals orders. This will be our dashboard page. Let me just hide this browser here, file browser, so that we can see it a little bit better. Okay, we have public static underscore login front equals CID, in other words, client ID. Then another set will be for the admin, public static login page admin, and the URL to our control panel later on will be admin and / admin. Then we have public static dashboard admin, and the value for this will be admin / page equals product. Then we have another property, which is public static underscore login admin, which will be AID rather than CID, just admin ID. And then we have public static property called underscore valid login, and value for this will be valid. Then we have public static property called referrer, and the value for this will be refer. Now we can go back to our restrict front method. So if we create a few new lines to make sure that the properties are separate from our methods. Our restrict front, first of all, we need to check if isn't self, and a new method which we'll create in just a second is logged, and we pass in the parameters indicating that we want to check if the user is logged into the front end. So self underscore login front property, as you can remember, we've just created this login front, which is CID. So if it isn't logged in, then URL equals URL class cpage, which is basically giving us the current page, doesn't equal logout. In other words, if we are currently not on a logout page, if we didn't click the logout button, then the URL will be self login page front, concatenate this with the dot, then we have ampersand symbol, self referrer, then concatenating this equal, and then URL and C page. Then colon. Otherwise, we will simply redirect them to login page front. Basically, it checks if current page, let's say we got to our checkout page. If current page doesn't equal logout, and it won't because obviously it will equal checkout, so this first statement will be executed. In this case, we will simply get the login page and self-referrer, which is basically adding the keyword which is assigned to the refer property, which will be refer, and it will then equal and the page to which we wanted to get, so checkout in other words, so that we know on the login screen which page we wanted to get to and from which page we were redirected to the login screen. So in this case, when we successfully log in, we can redirect the user directly to this page which he wanted to access basically. Other words, if it is logout, then simply redirect them to their login without any other parameters in the URL. So that's what it does. This statement and this specific restrict front method. Now obviously we need to create is logged method, static method of the login class. But this is what we're going to be doing in the next video.